Hello, everybody. Okay. Why am I not showing up on the screen? Can you all hear me? Okay, you can hear me. All right. I don't know why I'm not showing up in the screen. Looks like there's a camera issue. Okay, let me play with my camera a little bit, everybody. There we go. Okay. Except I'm still not showing up. All right. So I'm actually all by myself tonight. So maybe that's part of the problem. And I'm not using the machine that I normally use for this. So the good news in all this is that I'm going to do, well, I was going to say the good news is that I was going to do a presentation. But if you can't see the presentation, okay. Presentation isn't showing up either. And I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Says the video is on. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, and I didn't fully test it because it's actually the same setup that I used the last time. All right, so give me just a few seconds to try to troubleshoot this. Yeah, there's no drop-down menu. There's no. All right, I'm going to leave the studio and come back in. So we'll see if that works. I'll be right back. Ah, okay. You just saw me for about 2 seconds, right? Or a split second? I think you did. At least I saw me. Yeah, the scrolling went away because I turned it off because it was distracting. To be honest, I don't have any idea why this is happening the way it is. I'm reluctant to restart because I'm the only one on tonight. Alyssa is busy tonight. Pat is actually on an airplane flying back from Germany. And the thing is, when I go into the camera, it shows that the camera is working fine. All right. I'm going to let's see if there's another setting. That's camera. Yeah, it's showing me the camera. Okay. All right. I appreciate the thought that the scene with the camera selected. I appreciate the thought that audio only is okay. I'd at least like to be able to push my slides though. So the camera was on when I started this because the camera, for what it's worth, I could see myself. I can see myself just fine, and it's selected and it says it should be working. I started the camera again, and it's not working. That's a good question. I did try to put up a slide, and it wasn't showing the slide either. Let me try that again. Yeah, you should be seeing the slide now. Okay. Well, this is as frustrating for me as it is for all of you, I'm sure. Because I actually spent a good chunk of this afternoon working on a slide presentation. I tell you what, though, I think what we'll end up doing is we'll end up calling this one a wash. But let me tell you a few things about what's going on, and then we'll do the next show. I'll be one ahead on the next time that I'm on by myself, because I can't figure out how to make this thing work at this point. And I mean, I've never ever had a problem with StreamYard like this. So what I'm going to do is give you a brief overview of some stuff, and then I'm going to try logging off and coming back on. And I don't know if it's going to end the broadcast in the middle of me logging off and coming back on, because I've never tried to do that with a live show. So we'll see if that works. And if it doesn't work, then we know that that doesn't work, and I'll see you next week or whenever. If it does work, then it works. So just a few things about what's going on. So first of all, none of this is the opinion of my employers. This is all my stuff. There's going to be no show next week, I don't think, because I'm pretty sure that Pat told me he's unavailable. I'll be recovering from surgery at this time next week. Now, it's relatively minor surgery. The biggest issue with it is that I can't sit afterwards. And that's because it's one of those things where they run stuff into your veins, and they always go in between where your legs connect to your torso, which means that sitting puts all the pressure right on the wound where they gained access to your veins, and it hurts like hell. And so as a result of that, you find yourself in a situation for about 5 days you don't sit. You can lay down, you can walk around, you can stand, you can do everything else, but sitting is really, really painful. So, and I think I'm pretty sure that Pat told me he's unavailable. So the default, unless you see otherwise by going to YouTube or going someplace else, is that we're not going to do it next week. But we should be. I'll be back the week after. I'm not sure when the next time Pat is. Current status on generally where we are. So as Pat said last time, he's going to try to. He's actually going to be a little bit less involved with the show than before, just because he's got so much stuff going on in his life. Something's got to give. We're currently in the process of working out how to maximize Pat's participation while simultaneously minimizing the workload on him. I've got a bunch of ideas about that. So, because we've been doing this for over a year, right? About a year and a half now. And so during that time period, we've taken care of a lot of the low-hanging fruit. And so it's now at the point where we're going to have to start thinking through how we want to do this going forward. Pat and I have been talking about ideas. We're thinking about things like a group watch along session where it's like, okay, for next week, watch the following 4 episodes of the show, and then we'll have a discussion about it. We're thinking about doing things like I'm thinking about doing some more author interviews like we did with Claude the last time. I know a bunch of science fiction authors, and I'd like to have them come on the show and give an opportunity to talk to them on the show, with an emphasis on those who do space combat stuff. Like I'm really hoping to get John Henry, aka Jack Campbell, on the show. He would be pretty good for this. My friend Walter Hunt has already said that he's going to do it. In fact, we were going to try to do it from a science fiction convention, but that was one where we ended up having to cancel because the network connection at the con was just really crap. David Weber is certainly a possibility. That might very well be possible, since I do know David reasonably well. A lot of the other folks in the Bain stable I could probably get to. Chuck Cannon is somebody that I want to talk to about this, etc. So there's a whole bunch of people that I could get, and so that's sort of the thinking, is I'm going to try to start getting people like that on the show. And so in addition to that, just sort of thinking about how we can move forward in such a way that it's not this last minute scramble to sort of do stuff. I want to have like something that looks like a production schedule and a website that goes along with it, so that you can look and see what's coming up with that. And so along those lines, I've gotten more of the control of stuff. And by control, I mean just access to some of the passwords and stuff. It took a while to sort of figure this out. If you've ever used StreamYard, it's kind of complicated when you have multiple people dialing into the same account. And so we were able to actually make that happen. I thought got a pretty good setup for that. So we've gotten a little dodgy as of late of making the show come off on time. But that's not because there's a lack of commitment or anything like that. It's just that doing some hardcore thinking and trying to figure out how to make all that work. And in my case, I'm also dealing with some hardware issues. I'm in the purchase. I'm buying computers like mad in the hopes of solving some of the hardware issues that I'm having. I'm doing this right now off of my Surface Pro, which is a machine I'm probably getting rid of. And which worked perfectly fine the last time I was on the show. It's the exact same computer I used the last time, and I don't understand why it's not working this time. So we'll make it happen the next time. And with that, I think that's about it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to leave StreamYard and come back in. I do not know, since I'm the only one logged in, I do not know if that will cause the show to cancel. If it does go away, then we'll see you in 2 weeks. If it doesn't go away and I'm able to come back, I'll do at least the first part of the presentation that I put together. So everybody, cross your fingers. Hold on. Hey, Stoggy, are you there right now? Or Stogie? Okay, so he's not coming back. Stogie sent me a private chat, I just realized a little while ago. But he must have taken off again. All right, so I'm going to try leaving the studio and redoing StreamYard. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll see you next time. But keep your fingers crossed, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so interestingly, the good news is it turns out, if you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. It turns out that I can log off and I can come back on. I did not reboot the computer. And so just going out of that was insufficient. You know what? Let me check something else real quick. I'm checking one other thing that I didn't check before. I'm now playing around with the Windows side of things as opposed to... It shows my camera as being on, so I don't think it's that. Okay. All right. Yep, I'm not able to find... Oh, you know what? Hold on just a second. Yeah, it says that everything can... It actually says that Chrome is currently in use accessing my camera. So this appears to be a StreamYard thing. So, all right. So, okay, I see it says that audio did something interesting. Yeah, I went to the audio control panel. So to the question of where is Lissa when you need her, Lissa sent a note to me saying, hey, that she'd been invited to go do something fun. And she doesn't usually get to do fun on Saturday night because she's usually here. And I said, I got this. This should be easy. All I'm going to do is do this simple presentation. I should be able to be my own producer. No problem. Yeah, famous last words, although I don't know what's going on here. So, but all right. So I think we're at the point. I've been talking for about close to 20 minutes now. We've been live for about 20 minutes now. And yeah, I cursed myself. And so there's nothing that I can really do at this point to do it. And rather than just do an entire show that's audio only, even though the presentation isn't that visually stimulating, I always try to I did spend a lot of time putting some photos in here. Basically, what I'm going to do is at science fiction conventions, I usually give out a list of books that I, as a naval analyst, think are interesting books, interesting science fiction books. And what I was going to do is basically give you a full rundown on these books that I think are interesting and why I think they're interesting. So basically, it was going to be an entire presentation of nothing but spoilers for about 10 or 15 novels. So I'll keep that in my back pocket. We'll do that some other time. Let's go ahead and call it an evening, which just surprises me that we're calling it so early, but sometimes this happens. So I'd like to thank you all for showing up this evening, and I really appreciate the fact that we've got such a loyal audience. You guys are great, and I really, really consider myself lucky that I'm able to do this, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do it for a while. So with that in mind, thank you very much, everybody, and have a good evening. Now I'm going to go see if this video will play. Let's see if the video plays.